Hello and welcome to the 14th episode of the 8-6 podcast hosted by Half Past 8 and Swag Rabbit. Today, Carvana expands a new vehicle, Chevy introduces a new Silverado with some big promises, and GR and Acura both put forward some promising racers. But first, BMW apparently decided the ugly stick looked a little dusty. So I saw this on social media and figured I'd throw it in. The BMW New Class, and I'm calling it New Class and not Neue Klasse because this is America and we speak English. Fuck you. God, that looks hideous.
Yeah,
Ugh.
BMW's electric cars have never looked particularly good, but this is
awful.
This is a new level of not looking good.
Yeah, I looked at that at work, and you know what came into my head? That. Right in my head. Bidding image. It looks like a warthog. It looks like a warthog. Does it not look like a fucking the front end?
Yeah, and it's not the good warthog from Halo.
Oh,
it's just an ugly ass warthog.
Yeah,
looking.
it's ugh. I mean, the last gen didn't look particularly good, but and the part that frightens me is it's the design language behind new BMW. So they're all gonna look like this. The M2,
Yep,
my beloved.
I will say that at least Ferrari has a fucking shoulder to cry on now about the ugly car thing, because after the fucking Ferrari Prius came out, they had the fucking pick of the litter for ugly ass cars for a little bit. So
it was Jaguar, and it still is. Then it was Tesla, and it still is. Then it was Ferrari, and it still is. And now it's BMW, and it still will be. The Cybertruck is still uglier, but I still wouldn't want to see this coming at me.
And when I first saw this article pop up, I thought it was about the new M3 or the possibility for the new M3 look, which didn't look that bad to me, but this is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but that's just an ugly SUV. So if we look...
They've got a whole thing.
Let me see if I can send you a picture real quick.
It's not just the exterior either, it's the interior too. An all-new central computer that BMW calls the Heart of Joy. What joy? You're driving this thing. There's no joy here. There's no joy or happiness in this thing. It's a brutalist car.
Let me send something to you so that you can look at it, because I want your opinion on... So, I'm not excited about the prospect of an electric M3, but that is not a bad-looking car to me. That actually looks better than the current generations to me. If you want to take a look at what I just sent you in Discord.
Let me pull that up. Oh, yeah.
See, that could actually be sexy. The problem I have with it is it's supposedly going to be electric, but that could be sexy.
What I've heard is they're making an electric version and they're making a conventional version. They're not making a hybrid. Oh, their reasoning for not making a hybrid is completely fucking stupid. They're saying, oh, we're not going to make a hybrid because we don't want a mix of both. It's like, but it's better. It's better than either one. Make it a hybrid.
Well,
but I mean,
you have to remember, not the USA kicking ass, it's the UK suffocating everything. So this is what this is.
That's fair. If that's the M2, I wish it had a hybrid powertrain, but that with a gas engine. Oh, really? I thought the M3 was 4-door. That looks like it's 2-door.
It looks like it might have a line for the back door back there. It could be. I don't know. It says this is supposed to be the new M3 concept.
Okay. I mean, it looks good, yeah. I don't know what went wrong between that and this. It's got some other shit. The video, let me just mute that because I don't care. Got a whole video, actually, on this thing. If I can get through the ad, we're going to have to cut out. While the ad plays, on a happier note, let me tell you about a fun experience I had this morning. I'm pulling out of my apartment complex, and right in front of me on the road, there's a GR Corolla. And the guy driving the GR Corolla, he didn't buy it because he wanted an expensive car to show off. He bought it because he wanted something fast. That thing was going 90 miles an hour. And that's not an estimate
Those
either.
things rip.
That's not an estimate. I read that number directly off of my speedometer.
Yeah, those things rip.
If you know, you know. You know, there's a large reset button for BMW's EV strategy. The only reset I care about is throwing it in the bin. Fuck you.
So I will say the one thing they did do was, I know this is an electric vehicle because it's the iX3, which is their electric lineup, but they did get rid of the ugly ass lungs on the front end of the car.
That's true.
For
I was
that
wondering-
model. It's not how they did it was not good, but they don't have the lungs.
Look, it could be worse. It could be an AMG. Because those things just fucking suck. This interior is verges between bland and god-awful. I mean, aside from, like, the details, setting aside the details for a moment, which suck, the interior is just bland.
Haven't you heard how
milk
all
toast.
this works?
What?
Haven't you heard how all this works?
What?
Every single electric car follows the design language for the interior from Tesla, and Tesla's interiors have always been bone stock suck.
That's true.
Duh.
That steering wheel,
this is a Tesla interior.
The steering wheel, I suspect, is not mechanically connected to the front wheels, which, sure, fine, whatever. It works on airplanes, which have like 4 layers of redundancy, so why wouldn't it work in cars? Fuck you. 4 layers of redundancy, and they're actually maintained, unlike cars, which are driven by NPCs who think they don't need maintenance. The interior mostly is bland, but there's some stuff I want to point out. Why? It's pretentious. It's fucking pretentious. Also, this screen up here, I want you to tell me how that screen works, do you think? In general terms. OLED, LED, plasma?
No, I want to say that they're doing the futuristic thing where all of that is like fucking, what is it, projected up there.
Ah, you got spoilers.
No, I didn't. I've seen the projection thing before.
Over a meter long projected display, because what I want is more screens in my cars, and they're projected, so they're going to get washed out. I mean, you know, maybe it doesn't look that bad in the Las Vegas sun, but it's not facing. I don't know. I can see some angles where this would be absolutely washed out, but thankfully there's nothing essential projected up there. The exterior is fugly, and the interior is bland, and this is apparently the design language they're going to go with, and this is how they're going to attract the next generation of car buyers, is with a bland, fugly EV SUV to appeal to young people that want, as we talked about last episode, sporty-looking, exciting-looking, gasoline-powered coupes and sedans. Sell your BMW stock. Sell it now. Pull out of the DAX entirely. Like, this shit's not going to last.
I'm going to be honest with this. When it comes to, there's nothing exciting about these cars. There's nothing exciting about them at all. Rarely anybody's going to buy them. The only people that buy them are the ones that want overpriced toys.
Yeah.
Because that's all this is. It's got all this bullshit on it just so you can play around with it. Look, he's moving things around. That's all these cars are good for. That's why Teslas had to make their fucking car dance for Christmas and shit.
God,
you know what I mean?
Gimmicks.
Like,
yeah,
it's the
gimmicks.
same shit.
Yeah,
this is all dumbass gimmicks for the sake of, I don't have an engine, I can't actually have fun with the car, so here's what we'll give you instead.
Speaking of the car, stability control, if you want to use that. No, you don't have the option not to. This is a modern EV. Yeah. It's always going to have stability control. It's not like you can do the pedal dance and turn that shit off. You're fucked, buddy. And I don't know why you would turn off stability control anyways. It's a fucking SUV. You're going to put that fucker in a ditch. They handle like shit. I don't care what powertrain you put in them. I've seen people... Not only that,
but also
I have seen people try to autocross those things. It does not end very well.
And also, you have to think about it. If they turn the stability control off and manage to turn traction control off, you'd have instant torque and no fucking grip at all.
God. Fuck you. Look at this. Yeah, because I want to fiddle with menus to adjust my climate control at like 80 miles an hour on the highway.
Well, and
Didn't we
how much you
already
want to
give
bet that shit
enough
shuts its? Go ahead.
didn't we already give Tesla enough shit for this? It's one of the main things
Yes.
people bring up when they say they don't like Teslas. Is this dumb shit?
Well, and how much you want to bet? How much you want to bet this fucking nanny of a car they got is going to shut down all these features and not give you the ability to do this while you're driving anyway?
Yeah.
So you took away my ability to actually mess with things physically, and then you're going to lock away the ability to use it the way you're supposed to use it because I'm driving.
This is
So what do you want me to do? Stop the car?
This is BMW desperately dick-sucking Tesla, shaft and balls, right as people stop wanting Teslas and start moving in the complete opposite direction. What kind of crack are they smoking in southern Germany? I want to know. I'm sorry, you're going to have to bleep like most of that out.
Yeah, considering you were like, I can't drink in front of the kids. We can't cuss like sailors in front of the kids technically either.
Okay, but this pisses me off because it's so stupid.
It's terrible. No, you're correct.
And I know
dumb.
there's going to be some people coming, oh, you're just jealous because you can't afford it. If I had the money, I wouldn't spend it on that. And I do have the fucking money for it. I have the money for one of these dumb things. It's not like I can't afford it. I just own a car that doesn't suck. And another car that doesn't suck this badly.
It's neat gimmicks, but for people like me and you, this is just fucking inane garbage.
Who is this for,
like,
aside from, like, a middle manager? A middle manager who wants to look like he's tech literate. Because that's who buys these things.
This is an attempt at a startup CEO's car.
Yeah, it's,
these are tech guy mobiles. That's all this is.
Startup CEO, but not the guy with the actual tech, the guy with the business. It's the MBA that comes onto the startup to run it, while the guy who actually built the tech, quietly gets phased out. That's who buys these cars. Not the people that actually understand or appreciate the technology or know how it works. It's the dumbass with the MBA.
Speaking of tech guys, would you like to know what Elon Musk's first dream car that he bought was when he got really, really rich?
It wasn't a Lotus Emira.
It wasn't a Lotus Emira because those weren't out yet. It was a McLaren F1.
Okay.
He bought what is now a $25 million car that won Le Mans like 7 times or something before it got banned.
Good for him.
Yeah, I know.
And then he proceeded to violently fuck the entire car industry. So, I mean, that's nice, but he learned nothing from that car. He appreciated none of it.
That's true.
Panoramic display. Dynamics. I wouldn't be so upset about this car, I think, if it weren't for the fact that BMW has indicated that this dumb shit is going to all of them, which includes M2, my beloved. One of only, like, 2 BMWs I could ever see myself owning.
Well, dude, with me, the M2, the first generation that they brought back the M2, so, like, I think it started in 2014 or 2016, that's the one I want. Yeah. The body style ended, I think, in 2018.
Yeah. Let me pull up a visual here for the viewers.
Yeah, because I also want one of these cars. Like, even the 2020 and beyonds are ugly to me.
That's the one I want too. That is achingly beautiful.
I don't want a 2 Series. I want an M2 or an M2 Comp. There is no fucking other reason I would buy one of those cars, and it has to be manual for me.
Yeah. For me, it would either be an M2 or anything with a Z. That's it. Preferably the Z2, the one with the really cool doors, the ones that go down into the frame. I think it's the Z2. No. Yes, the Z1.
BMW.
These.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's, I think, the only car that does that. I would take...
Oh, by the way, look up a picture of the 1M Coupe, by the way.
I would take... Or the M1? Oh. I would take...
No, the 1M Coupe.
Ooh, that's not bad looking. I would take any of the Z cars, but especially the Z1. And then I would take an M2.
Yeah. So
None of the other
this
BMWs
is
interest me, but well, this kind of interests me. Go on.
yeah, that is like I believe I don't know if they were all sold in manuals, but these were before the M2s came out, these were basically a test bed for hey, here's what the M2 is going to look like and it's a coupe and it's cool and so and I think those are slept on too. So I think they'd probably be really cheap if you wanted one.
Yeah, I mean, I just like coupes, but yeah, I mean, this, nobody in the comments better call me poor. I have the money for it. I simply choose not to spend it on this piece of shit or anything that looks like it,
Well,
which is going to, unfortunately, it sounds like it's going to be everything BMW makes for the next like 8 to 10 years.
neither one of us want a fucking SUV in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
The only SUV I'd think about buying was probably an older GMC, like not very older, but like a couple years ago, the GMC Yukons looked really good with the right trim package.
old school Ford
And
Bronco,
that's
not the new one.
old school Ford
Um,
Bronco would be good. Like old school in general was better, but
didn't
I
Chevy
wouldn't
put like a
spend all the money in the
V10 in
world.
something? I remember a Hoovy video on something like that, or it was like a really big. It was like a massive V8 or something.
I could have the amount of money that Elon Musk plus all of the money that Saudi Arabia and the fucking the UAE have combined, run out of everything else I could possibly buy and still wouldn't buy this car. That's how ugly this thing is to me. Like I'm not kidding. I could buy the planet and still not want this.
But hey, you can roll down the road blasting Hakuna Matata because it's fucking Pumbaa from The Lion King in car
Oh
form.
my god. Dude, I almost spit out my drink. Don't do that. Fuck.
It's so fucking
Oh my
ugly.
god.
And it's still
It
got the
is. It's
kidney
terrible.
grills. They just made them. Actually, that's nostrils. It has nostrils. Why does my car have nostrils? Why does it look
Well,
like
dude,
if I drop my wrench on this thing, I'm going to have to pick its nose? Fuck.
BMWs have very often had big ass fucking honkers for nostrils, but they used to be not vertical. They look so much worse vertical. Like this is it's just not a good look. And the funny thing is this is a fully electric car, so I don't even know. I think that's just hey, this is a BMW design language thing. We have to have those schnauzers on the fucking front. I don't get it.
As far as design language goes, this is like Pigeon English. It would be better if you just deleted those and just had one horizontal bar. I mean, it would still be ugly, but it wouldn't be fugly. And then the chin, the almost Thanos chin it's got going on. It's
Well, dude, and the Challenger gets away with it really well, so you can do it right. This just doesn't.
just has to not be an SUV.
True.
What more can I say? And the part that really disturbs me and really frustrates me is, again, design language behind new BMWs. What else are they going to put this? What else are they going to design like this? And the interior, I mean, I can't even be pissed off the interior. It's just bland. It's fucking bland. It's
Well, it's
nothing. It's
okay.
gray on gray with gray.
This is for people that this is for middle managers who lack personality, use the car to make up for it, and still fail because the car has
With
no
no
fucking personality
personality.
either.
That interior makes me long for the days when everything was brown. I'd rather it be all brown than all gray. At least brown has something going for it.
Yeah, I'd rather drive around a car that looks like mud than drive that. Congratulations, BMW. You are in the running for ugliest new car.
In the running, and this
All
is a
right,
year with
next.
solid competition. Carvana, everyone's favorite auto seller. I love Carvana. I like pulling up the app and looking at the prices and having a hearty chuckle and then closing the app because everything's fucking overpriced.
I my FRS is from Carvana,
What year is your FRS?
2015.
How many miles?
When I bought it 60, it's now 105.
How much do you pay for it?
22 before all the extras.
I paid eight and a
Should have
half.
been 18 to 19.
I
I
paid
don't fucking
eight
want to
and
hear it from you.
a
It was the middle of
half.
COVID. Everything was super overpriced. I financed that car for $27,000 with all the extras. I still owe just under five now because I made a payment today.
Nice. So they are, for the longest time, they've been, and I mean, I don't knock the concept, to be clear, right? It's a solid concept. Get rid of the dealer network, you sell used cars, you have one fixed price, you offer delivery as part of the package, blah 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 blah. The problem I have with Carvana is everything is like fucking overpriced. They price everything at a premium. And B, they have a almost literally incestuous relationship with their finance company because it's literally owned by the father of the company's founder. It's this whole thing put together. It's weird. And their financing is, I don't like to say predatory because you control the loans you sign, but they're just garbage loans. They're not as bad as like Westlake Financial, but they suck. But
Mine was not an extreme APR. I think I got lucky when I bought my car because I had good credit at the time. I think I still have mostly good credit, but it's
yeah,
probably not as good.
well, it was also the height of COVID. Rates were a little bit lower then.
It it was the height of COVID. I think mine was seven, just over, just under seven,
Mm,
which is not great, but it's not fucking 15 like some
right.
people sign.
Yeah. They are expanding into selling new cars. They've bought 7 dealerships across the country to serve as kind of their sort of legal front because they have to have it because the dealership system in this country sucks and I hate it. And they're going to start offering right now. It seems like it's mostly Stellantis's like domestic output, so Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, but they might expand further. I don't think that's going to, that might, okay. My prediction for this is it's not going to be any of the Japanese brands. Maybe the Korean brands, and then like none of the German brands, but probably the other European brands. And then, of course, nothing like super high end or luxury. They're probably not. Well, maybe Maserati. They might eventually sell new Maseratis because Maserati is kind of the like basement tier of supercars. But they're not going to be selling Ferraris or anything. Not that anyone's going to be
I could
buying them
see
anymore.
I could see Maserati and Jaguar, and that's about it.
Yeah. This is interesting.
Hell, actually, Carvana getting in with Maserati and Jaguar might help those brands a little bit. For all you know, I mean, they're kind of in the shitter right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they kind of did it to themselves.
I
So,
see like 10 times the number of old Maseratis that I do new.
yeah, because they
It's bad.
fucking break. Um, it's interesting. It's weird because like there's only two pieces of news that I hear about Carvana. Either they're expanding their business and growing rapidly and doing great, or they're going bankrupt. So I'm not quite sure how to feel about
Which
them.
is what happened after COVID.
Yeah, it's like
I
they're
I
flip
tried to be a car
flopping.
hauler for them right before they crashed.
Ooh, how'd that go? Do tell.
Well, they were like, so we're about to go bankrupt and we're about to have to lay off like most of the people that were driving for us, so probably not a good time to get in. And then I was like, oh, okay.
Ouch. Oh, this will be interesting. Dealers adapt or be irrelevant. Yep. My main interest in this is not with Carvana specifically, but with just another like chip away at the shitty new car dealer network. I mean, it's
Well, I mean, we've talked about this many times, and the fix to this is legitimately just to make it so that most dealerships are just turned into full-time service centers. And then some dealerships are still around, and all they do is allow you to spec out the car and order it, and
yeah,
then take delivery.
and that's what it should be.
You could cut to a tenth of the size for just doing orders, you wouldn't need all the extra space. You would have way less overhead as a company owner
Well,
and take way less risk.
my dream model for this, if I were to build a car company and build a dealership network, and I didn't have the stupid like legal bullshit that we have, that means that you have to have independent dealers because the Dodge brothers were fucking demons. Look up Dodge v Ford if you don't believe me when I say that. They were evil assholes, and Henry Ford was a saint. You take new car dealers or associated with a specific brand are franchises of that brand. They're outlets of that car brand. So you take your car brand, you have a selection of like basic trim vehicles on the lot, or maybe like, 80% your basic trim and 20% your premium trim. And then you can either just buy something prepackaged off the lot. You take your MSRP has a certain percentage built in, which goes to the dealership to fund that dealership's operations. So you bake in a fixed cost plus profit for the dealership. So you don't have the system where it's like you've got MSRP and the dealership can be like, oh, hey, we're just going to jack our prices 10, 20, 50, 100K over MSRP for bullshit reasons, right? No, it's you have your MSRP and that is what you sell to the consumer at. And like 5-10% of that goes to the dealer and the rest goes back to the manufacturer. And you have your basic trim, manufacturer ships out a bunch of those or ships out a bunch of every like basic trim level, and then you just have trim, you have packages. So I show up, I say I want this car, dealer says great. Here's a list of all the shit that the manufacturer offers we can put on your car. And I go, I want this, this, and this. They go, great, add that on, close out, financing, cash, whatever. And I sit and I drink a coffee and I watch them put that shit on my car and I drive it home. None of this bullshit haggling, none of this bullshit back and forth. You offer the car at a price. You don't do this inflation. I don't have to do this Foursquare bullshit with you. Just make it not a pain in the ass. The first car company that manages that, and no, Tesla has not managed that because you can't. Tesla hasn't really done that. The first proper car company that does that wins. And it's kind of a shame, too, because I feel like cars should be more customizable from the factory.
I agree.
And I almost feel like car companies have kind of pulled back on the amount of customization and options available from the factory nowadays. Like I've been, every now and then for the last couple years, I like to go on a configurators and build cars that I'm either, don't want to buy or in some cases can't buy, that I just want to look at. And I feel like the last couple years, there's been less and less and less to put on, and certainly less and less that like changes anything fundamental about a car, which is kind of a shame.
It's mostly just like trim pieces and shit
Yeah.
like that.
Like for grins and giggles, I spec'd out a Ford Econoline. And you can do more to customize and configure a Ford Econoline than you can to configure a Ford Mustang. Why the hell is that?
That's fucking crazy. I didn't realize it was that bad.
Oh, yeah. It's also crazy how much shit you could do to an Econoline. I also don't like the weird exclusivity of, like, you can only have the power folding mirrors on this trim of the car. Why? Just let me put that shit on. But anyways, a big part of that, to bring it back, a big part of that is the bullshit dealer networks and the way that shit works, because dumbass laws enacted 100 years ago, and this is another blow to the stupid entrenched car dealership networks that exist to prey upon consumers and turn what should be a straightforward purchasing experience into a fucking bazaar. Why am I haggling for any of this shit? This is America.
Yeah, I know. I was about to make the same joke. We are in America. I shouldn't be haggling like I'm in fucking Egypt.
Yeah, it's... Now, if only we can do... Well, I mean, I say if only we can do the same thing for used car sales. on an article about Carvana, which was supposed to do that for used car sales, but they fucked it by attaching a premium to everything. Which is another thing I don't fucking get.
Which, is kind of the thing that worries me about them starting to sell Stellantis products right now, while Stellantis is trying to rebuild with all these good things that are happening. It kind of scares me that Carvana, which is known for fucking selling super high, is going to be dealing with them.
Well, the advantage in this case is that Stellantis can at least hold their nuts to the fire on this. Like, in a way that you really can't see with the used car market. Like, nobody is really
Yeah,
going to
that's true.
hold Carvana to account for inflating their car prices, aside from purchasers who can decide just to not buy them, which doesn't really change much. Their margins don't change much. It's really
Well,
just
dude,
a raw
I
profit.
know a guy. I know a guy that during the height of COVID, Carvana called him and offered him 3 times his 10-year-old car's fucking Blue Book value to try to get inventory.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of that.
3 times his 10-year-old truck's Blue Book.
They kind of built a business really they build their inventory off of being willing to pay way more than anyone else is for used cars. My hope is that when they get into new cars, the manufacturers will do what they're not really doing to the independent dealerships, admittedly, and hold them to the fire by saying, we are only going to offer you inventory if you sell it within a certain percentage of MSRP. I can
Yep.
hope, but that relies upon the manufacturer actually giving a shit. Which,
Well, and you made a comment about there's no way, or they're probably not going to work with any Japanese company with the history, with how Japanese companies work and like the accountability structures over there. There's no fucking way they'd let Carvana get away with it.
yeah, which is
Like at
why
all. Carvana tried any shit and they'd be right back out on the doorstep.
I don't see them partnering with any Japanese company except maybe Mitsubishi, which is barely a car company at this point.
Weren't we talking about that earlier? Isn't that like owned by Nissan mostly or something?
Something like that. A couple episodes ago, it was a whole thing. They don't really make anything anymore. They're kind of on life support. It sucks. I can see them partnering with the Koreans though. I mean, they're Hyundai, absolutely 100%. Speaking of Hyundai, came across a dude getting in a Genesis in the parking lot. And the funny thing was, this guy had been an asshole to me earlier in the week when I was trying to work with him on something. And so as I walk past, I say, "Nice Hyundai" to him, and he just like starts bitching about it as I walk off. And I'm like,
Genesis split off into its own brand. Nobody gives a fuck.
"It's not a Hyundai, it's a Genesis. It's a Hyundai." It's not even like, welcome to Tangents, the episode. It's not even like Lexus and Toyota. Lexus is mostly its own thing. Genesis is just a rebadge. It's the same shitty build quality and the same shitty reliability. You just put a fancy badge on it and charge twice as much. But yeah, I mean, I threw this in mostly because it's interesting news. I'll have to see where it goes, but yeah, this is Carvana article 1 of 2. Next week they'll be going bankrupt again for the 18th time.
I thought we were gonna lose Carvana for good after fucking COVID. I thought we were gonna lose a bunch of those big
Thought or
used
hoped?
car places. No, I didn't hope per se, but I definitely thought we were going to. If they had gone bankrupt, I probably would have started arguing with who I was lending from for the car.
Oh, they would have sold the loan to somebody. Moving on.
Yeah, probably.
The new Chevy Silverado 1500. So,
Yes, so this was my story. And or one of them. I actually think that the two upper trims, the one on the very right, that front end is still kind of ugly to me, but the other two are kind of starting to look good. The only problem I have with this, and well, there's other good things too before I get to the problems, but It's yeah. Well, that is gonna be an issue. But if I could just underline and shit while I'm trying to think. But no, they're gonna put two new V8 types in it. They have a 5.7 liter and then a 6.6 liter. They haven't divulged any power figures for those. Haven't divulged specs, haven't divulged details or pricing,
They
and
haven't even
they
divulged any
apparently are
actual
going in.
photos. That's a render, I think.
Is it a render?
Looks like a
I
render.
think it. Well, actually, no. The one scroll down. I don't think that's a render.
It
So
kind of looks
yeah,
like a
go to
render.
that. It's possible. The one thing I will say that I spotted later in this is that even the hardcore off-road version that's supposed to compete
Mm-hmm.
with the yeah, so here below the silver one, so even further down. The ZR2 is still the king of the hill when it comes to Silverado's most capable off-roader. Most notably, it now rides on 35-inch tall mud terrain tires that match the Ford F-150 Raptor and Ram's SRT badge TRX. However, and this is my problem with it, Chevy decided against adopting a long travel trophy truck style suspension like those alternatives, instead standing with the truck's fancy Multimatic DSS V spool, valve dampeners, and hydraulic bump stops.
Hydraulic bump
So
stops
you want to make an off-road truck,
with
but you didn't want to go balls to the wall with long travel and instead camped your bullshit whatever the fuck.
you want to build an off-road truck with electronic dampers and hydraulic bump stops, and you want to take that off-road. Good luck,
Yes.
my man. I'm gonna have a lot of fun pulling that out of a ditch.
Electronic locking front and rear diffs.
Not necessarily the worst thing
Fucking
ever.
the electronic locking front and rear diffs. I mean, if that system goes wrong, it gets expensive, but that's not actually a bad thing. I would prefer those than having to get out of the car in the middle of the snow to twist my fucking uh tire hubs.
Fair.
Like, just do. There's a reason the other trucks are so popular. One, you need like the ZR2 on crack, and it needs to have long travel trophy truck suspension,
Yeah.
like, or approaching trophy truck suspension. That's just, you need to just go with the flow on that one. It's already been it's already been perfected by racing. Just go with what they've perfected.
I can imagine why they made that decision. I can imagine it's
Okay.
going to hurt handling and performance if you're not racing it off-road, but
What, the long
you're
travel?
yeah, but you're advertising it as a high performance off-roader. Why are
Yeah, you
you
don't.
worried about
This
how it's
isn't
going
the
to handle
spec
on
you
the
buy.
track?
This isn't the spec you buy to go drag trailers and run around town and all that shit. This is the one you buy if you're going to Utah and
Well,
want to spend some
it's
time in the
not
sand and sun.
it's not the spec you buy for that, but it's going to be the spec that is bought for that. Let's be honest. People are going to buy it, and then they're going to expect to be able to drag trailers and to be able to do all sorts of hoon shit on the street. And if it had long travel suspension, which is, not as good for those applications, they would whine and cry and bitch that it's not good at doing something it wasn't designed to be good at doing. Because consumers are fucking idiots, and because Chevy is all for the mass market and is scared shitless of making a vehicle or even a trim of a vehicle that they know not a lot of people are going to buy, which is the dicklessness of the
Just
modern automotive industry. Kind of fucking frustrates me, because it's like, why can't we go back to 2000 Subaru, where they said, hey, here's this, we're going to make a truck, nobody's going to buy it, but on the off chance anybody does want to buy it, we'll make it. That was the
yeah,
best times. All the cool shit that everyone wants to own, all the really interesting niche cars from the 90s and aughts, that's the mentality that went into it. It was, here's a car, or here's a trim of a car, and probably not a ton of people are going to buy it. Here's our mass our mass models that are for everyone, and here's this weird offshoot that's for this one group that maybe we'll make some money off of. Why doesn't Chevy just do that? And
Because they fucking can't get their head out of their ass.
you know,
They've completely stopped trying to compete with Ford, and they got it right with the ZR1, and then they got it right again with the ZR1 1LE, and
mhm.
just went like full balls to the wall. And then after that, they literally just lost their nuts. I don't know where it went, but like Ford and Dodge shot past them like a rocket, and then they didn't even try after that. I
So
don't know what happened. I don't know why. They kept with what they had, and then they stopped caring completely. Here is hoping that this is a different transmission than the current model Yukons and stuff, because 2 episodes ago we were talking about how those randomly lock the back tires on the streets.
yep,
So
I'm kind of with you on the why they didn't. If you're going to make a trim that you're specifically advertising, this is an off-roader, this is for off-road, it is off-road, it is only for having fun and hooning around off-road, put the long travel suspension in it. And when people step up and whine and cry and bitch in the reviews about, but it's not so fun on the street, it's bouncy on the track, go clip that together. Clip a whole bunch of like dumbass auto reviewers making those complaints. Cut to black. Put up the text. Yeah, we know. We didn't build it for that shit. And then have like 30 seconds to a minute, depending upon your ad budget, of it doing cool off-road hooning shit. And then put that shit up during the Super Bowl. Like, throw up the middle finger to people who are like, this car that's designed for hooning around off-road isn't super fun on the streets. It's not built for that. It's not for you. Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but you'd have to take off the off-road. First of all, you'd have to redo the entire suspension to be more in line with a street truck, and then you'd have to take off the cool off-road tires and then put regular streetable tires on it, or else the thing's just gonna fucking howl on the street, because off-road tires are loud as fuck. Who knew? They are. Have you ever driven in a truck with off-road tires?
Yes.
It's the fucking rubber on the road is loud on those.
Sounds hot, honestly, in my opinion.
It does. If you like what you're driving, it actually is, it makes you feel like you not where you need to be, and it makes you want to be somewhere else. But like,
I think I
don't get it.
I like the concept. I really do. It looks fucking neat, but the problem is they didn't commit to it. They still want to have foot in the mass market instead of just building something and making it the best it can be. It's compromises. I mean, look at this fucking interior. Where do I go to shift?
The interior actually, so the shifter, there's a picture lower, I believe. Yeah. So the shifter is where it should be, behind the steering wheel.
Fair enough.
It's the fucking so that actually I think that's the shifter. It looks like the shifter. So I will give them credit for having the shifter where it's supposed to be instead of Dodge's little fucking knob that could be confused for a goddamn sound system knob. Yep, that's a shifter. Oh, that's not even the old school shifter where it's like you actually put it into the gear. You know what that is? That's the fucking Mercedes style shifter where you just pivot that thing a little bit in order to put it in gears.
Oh, I hate that.
That thing's straight out of a Mercedes Sprinter van, actually. Just about. That is the same shit as the Mercedes Sprinter.
I hate that.
Because my job has 2 of them. I drive them all the time.
I hate that. I also hate that it's right next to the paddle shifter. So when you're screwing around off-road and you go for that quick upshift, oh no, you just put it in neutral.
Trucks, just do the thing where you have the shifter behind the steering wheel and you pull it towards you, move it down to drive, let it slip back into its fucking hole, and leave it like that. I don't understand what you fucking need to change shit for.
I feel like you threw in this article as something positive, and it turned into us shitting on something that could have been better. And I think the fact that it started out so positively is making the rage worse.
I tried. I did. I tried so fucking hard to defend this, but like, come on. You're moving in. Look at the fucking dash. It looks like you're just trying the same shit Tesla did to get people to buy you over the fucking superior brands. You lost the space race and you won't get your head out of your ass.
Why does it have the iPad Dash is one thing. The fact that the iPad is extended over to the passenger side is why? Why? I mean,
I am pretty biased towards Dodge on a bit of another tangent here. I'm pretty biased towards Dodge. There's no question about that. I won't lie about it. I'll just admit it. I like Dodge more than the other two, but you cannot have an ecosystem where all three of them don't exist. You fucking cannot. The big three is there. It needs to be there to stay. And GM, please get your head out of your ass so that can remain the case.
this is one of those cars where I'd rather or one of those vehicles, I should say, where I'd rather purchase the lower trim because the lower trim doesn't have passenger touchscreen. Why? Why? I don't get to use it unless I've got a passenger, and if I do have a passenger, they're not touching my fucking music.
In an off-road vehicle, also, you have to think about, like, is that in the off-road trim or is that just in the high trim? We got to figure. So the ZR2 and High Country have a passenger
and
screen.
a front passenger
the ZR2, screen. Yeah, the ZR2 is the off-road version. Do you know what happens in off-road? You get tossed around a lot. So I'm waiting for somebody to elbow that screen and for it to shatter. That wasn't a good idea. I'm like the High Country, the purely I'm gonna tow with this and like it's just gonna be like a fucking road truck mostly because it's the highest trim. Whatever. Don't put that shit in don't put any extraneous thing that could randomly break because of things getting tossed around in a fucking off-road trim vehicle. You know what I mean?
I like these.
I actually, and you were right earlier, I did put this article in as a way to go, hey, I'm seeing a bright future possibly for the Chevy. The Silverado could be starting to do what it needs to do to catch up to Ford and Dodge on the truck front. And then we actually got into the fucking article.
These handles, I don't think are very well placed. I think you have to, the driver maybe less so, but the passenger definitely has to lean forward to grab that, which kind of defeats the purpose.
It's actually a decent looking truck for the most part. Like, it doesn't look bad. If it were set up in almost the exact same way, and then those gauges were like standard fucking
I was gonna say
like older gauges, and then the screen wasn't quite so pervasive in the middle, it would actually be a wonderful, wonderful truck that we would both probably be going, yeah, no, that interior is really, really good.
Yes. Although I do like the heads-up display. I am actually a fan of those. I just think the actual gauges should be mechanical and not
the steering wheel isn't bad either.
Yeah, honestly.
The steering wheel and the way it kind of mixes and matches with everything, it's not bad. I want the audience to know, because this has become a fucking issue. I find these articles, I barely read them so that I can read them during, find out everything about it, and have a genuine reaction for you. So when I find these articles, I read the title, and then I just make sure I know exactly what it's, or like generally what it's about, and then I put it in there. And for a lot of these, I'm literally picking them because I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good thing. This is going to be something that we can fucking praise. I would like to be able to praise some shit. We've been bitching a lot. And then you get into the article and you realize, oh my fucking God, they just don't know what they're doing.
There's a certain irony that amuses me personally. Your passenger can watch YouTube on the dash in front of them. So instead of the way they're advertising this is not that your passenger is going to be staring out the windows, looking at the amazing scenery you're blasting through at speed. No, your passenger is going to be staring directly ahead, watching YouTube.
Well, so this truck, they're hoping that the people that buy the high trim have iPad children. Effect. That's what this is. My iPad died. Where can I watch YouTube? Oh, the shit right in front of me. Because those kids are growing just enough now to actually sit in the front seat of these fuckers.
Yet another reason to find a way to delete that shit. Now, when I have kids, you're not you're not growing up with an iPad. You're growing up the way that I did, which is when you're 13, you're getting a flip phone. And when you're 16, you get a smartphone so that we don't fucking fry your attention span.
Camping.
Yeah. You're going camping.
You on high adventure camping trips where you're not allowed to have phones or fucking electronics.
You're going camping. You're going hunting.
Do fun shit.
When you're 15 or 16 or whatever, you're getting your learner's permit. I'm taking you water crossing so you actually know how to fucking drive and how to handle a car in adverse conditions. And we're not doing any of this shit. The day I will know that I am proud of my child when we're sitting in traffic and they're looking over at the stupid people next to us, glued to their fucking devices, going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And there's a sneer of disgust on my child's face. If I see that shit, I will be immensely proud because I will know that I have succeeded as a father. If I have children that are disgusted
And if they say something highly
at that shit.
judgmental about the situation, and
Yeah.
if they say anything that's highly judgmental about the situation, I will just straight up say, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. So
you ever seen that clip? Here's another tangent. You ever seen that fucking clip? Dude in a car and his little kid were passing a fucking car hauler. There were a bunch of nice cars on this thing. I think there was a Porsche, there was like a Mustang, and then there was a couple Mercedes, and then there was one Cybertruck. The dad goes, oh, look at all these cars. And the kid goes, look, it's my dream car. And he goes, which one? And the kid goes, the Cybertruck. And the dad goes, I will fucking disown you.
Where did it all go wrong, buddy?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the silver. I mean, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Disappointment Olympics right
we'll
here.
have to revisit this to see what the specs are. It could be mid. It could be mid. It could genuinely just be mid. It doesn't have to be bad. If it's got decent performance stats, I can overlook some flaws if it's got decent stats. It could merely be mid, which is the state of the car industry. It's the state of the car industry outside of like 3 or 4 Japanese companies right now. Is you're hoping for mid. That's the bar you want.
Anybody who's buying the top trim of this car, by the way, anybody who's buying the off-road trim, it's one trim under the highest trim. So you could buy the highest trim, you're buying the one under because it's of off-road abilities. The first mod on that's going to be long travel anyway.
You are spending,
let's be fucking real here.
What, 10, 12 grand to rip out that bullshit electronic suspension and put in one that isn't going to snap the first time you take it off onto gravel?
And you know what? I actually skipped doing this earlier, but we're talking about trucks anyway. Did you know Ford just put a do not drive order for like 4,000 trucks, including the same type of truck you were fucking rallying with the first time you went rallying, the Maverick? Do not drive orders because I think it was the Maverick you were talking about.
Mm-hmm. The Maverick and the Lobo.
They put do not drive they put do not drive orders for that, and then Broncos for like 4,000 or 5,000 vehicles because the front suspension could just fall out.
What do you mean fall out?
I don't know. That's what the article said. It just said fall out.
Are like the lower mounting bolts shearing or something? Like,
you know, I went out of my way to try not to rag on Ford, but I felt this couldn't fucking how does
the suspension fall out?
I don't know
how that works.
The article literally just said the suspension could fall apart or something like that. The front suspension was at risk of falling apart, and they had to put they didn't put a recall. It said do not drive.
Yeah, apparently my car isn't a car. How?
I don't know.
Moving on from this.
I don't know.
Madness.
I was trying not to put any more fucking ragging on Ford in, but this has angered me so much, and we're talking about stupid truck suspensions, so that's a stupid truck suspension problem. It really is. I mean, this is fucking overcomplicating. You just put in long travel. This is just something that's going to cost a lot to fix at a dealership. That's all this is. It's not actually going to be better for anything. It's just going to cost a lot.
So, moving on to stuff that we're not going to hate. Ooh.
I'm not the biggest fan of Camrys, but this is cool.
So, you're not going to get this reference, but the front of this reminds me of that one character from the second episode of Space King. People who've seen that will know what I'm talking about.
You're right, I don't get the reference, but there's another picture. They did 2 of these in 2 different styles. Yeah. So they did the other one. There's another picture further down. It has Bosuzoku exhaust, so the full-on fucking crazy-ass long tube exhaust.
This is what happens when you have a car company that is run by car enthusiasts. I am here for whatever the fuck Toyota's up to.
I don't care what they're up to. This is fun.
And this is how you as a car company get us to forgive a lot of mass market bullshit. Yeah, they're probably doing just as egregious a bullshit with their mass market shit as everyone else, but it's all in service of funding the fun shit. The entire GR line, the whole GR Cup, all their motorsport stuff, the GR86, the GR Corolla, the GR GT, all that shit. So yeah, I'm willing to forgive some shit. Holy shit, this looks fun.
So they had a chance to rev the heck out of the GR built white Camry, and then the other one was from Toyota Racing. So that one's GR, and this one is from Toyota Racing. So two different versions and two different builders. I don't hate that. I'm gonna be honest with
Honestly.
you. It sounds good. The 8-foot tall exhaust definitely helps that sound a lot.
Oh, it
So
sounds
8-foot tall
amazing.
exhaust pipes. One of them has a second engine in the trunk. The glint from a chandelier in the back seat.
Ooh.
Not at all what you'd expect attached to the humble Toyota Camry, but CEO Akio Toyota and Toyota Racing Chairman Hiroki Nakajima would settle their beef no other way than with a playful project car build showdown to drum up excitement. This is how American market needs to start doing things.
Yes.
You need to have a competition.
This
Ford
is
needs
how
to have a competition between Roush and a bunch of other of their subsidiaries and see what happens. I think that'd be fucking dope.
build crazy shit. Build mad shit. Give us your absolute nonsense, people. I want to see it.
Skunk Works brought in separate teams from Toyota and Gazoo in order to build those.
I want to
unveiled at Fuji Speedway for 24 hours of Super Taiko.
You know, the long pipes on that gave me an idea. Building a car with long pipes like that, but you add the, like, mechanicals and plumbing so that you can play them like an organ. I'm just saying, like, someone do it. Toyota, do it. Apparently you're doing crazy shit like that, and I'm all here for it. Oh my god. I mean, it's nonsense, but it is fun nonsense.
Dude, what is that a like vodka bottle with a cherry in it for a shifter? Like, what is that? And then he's got cigars in the middle.
He's got a fucking humidor. Oh, that is kick-ass.
I think that's fucking probably some kind of like alcohol or sake or something, and then a racing wheel, and the dash is covered in animal fur.
I love it so much.
Or like shag carpet or something. Yeah, no, it's super cool.
Even indicated it was going 158 while in park. I love it.
Oh, so they just straight up broke the fucking... That's actually fun.
I love it. I want to see that thing do a time attack.
It's super goofy, yeah. I would actually... Dude, it'd break off the front splitter before it got halfway through the time attack, but I'd still pay to see it.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean,
That is strictly a show-off Bose... That's an old-school Bose Zoku car on a new fucking frame.
Yeah.
That's all that is. For anybody that doesn't know, by the way, Bose Zoku, the leftover fighter pilots from the war that didn't end up dive bombing people in Japan. And yes, I'm going to say it like that because that's exactly what they were. They were former kamikaze pilots, started doing this shit with cars, and that includes the 8-foot tall crazy exhaust, that includes all the fucking canards and like crazy aero kits and all that shit. This was the style. And they ended up naming it Bose Zoku. It goes for cars. It goes for bikes. There are trucks that are like big rig trucks out there that are done like this. It's everything. It's just a super cool fucking old school thing.
Something that might make this even more batshit. I don't know if that's Curtis LeMay, but it looks a lot like Curtis LeMay. And I really, they absolutely didn't. But I hope they did. I hope they just put Curtis fucking Operation Westinghouse. I think it was Westinghouse right up there. That would get me to buy every Toyota I could. Here's the guy that burned Tokyo to the ground.
So
I love it. It's crazy. It's amazing.
I read a little bit. The black Camry was largely inspired by Kentucky whiskey. The interior, the glass shift knob with an ice cube, so that might be whiskey in there.
Yes.
It just gets, the more you read, the better it gets. It really does.
Oh.
The Toyota Racing Bozo build was the winner.
I love Japan. I love the Japanese. And this is why. This is fucking why. Speaking of the Japanese and time attack and goofy shit. Yes.
So Acura is going to attempt with the Integra to set the front wheel drive course record at the 2026 Pikes Peak.
I gotta see if I can watch that.
That's actually pretty dope.
It's gonna be driven by a fucking champion bobsled pilot. Holy shit! Team USA bobsled pilot. Oh, he's driving the pace car. Okay. So he's not driving the time attack car, but
No, I figured taking somebody that doesn't fucking drive race cars for a living and putting them on a time attack, like to set a course record, is weird. So yeah, I read that the first time too, and I'm like, wait, that's a weird decision. So it turns out they're probably gonna have. Oh, Dai Yoshihara is driving. Okay.
yep.
Yup, that makes more sense.
This looks hot. This looks nice. Is it? It's. I mean, I assume it's modified, but I imagine the engine is probably mostly stock. Oh yeah,
It's probably mostly stock, but it's been
modified
retuned for high altitude.
2-liter inline four, making more than 360 horsepower, made to a sequential paddle shifted 6-speed. Okay, so they basically took the stock engine out of it, which is it's the way you should do it. You took the stock engine, you tuned up the internals so it can handle more boost, because you're gonna need to do that. You're gonna need the weird part about this build is it's like at altitude you're gonna be struggling to make a ton of boost. But if you tune it so you make decent boost at altitude, you're gonna blow up your engine when you're at the start. So you've gotta build it kind of carefully. So they're doing that. And then new intake to suck in as much air as they can, new charge pipe, an additional intercooler, because you're not going to be able to cool as effectively at those altitudes. Yeah. And then they put yokes on it. Sweet.
So this guy is actually a FD Hall of Famer for a win in 2011 with his iconic Subaru BRZ competition car.
Nice.
Yep. So
I got to see if I can watch this. I hope they do.
It's going to be good.
Mm-hmm. What's really fun, if they beat it especially, because the previous record holder is a 500 horsepower TLX. If they beat that in a 360 horsepower Integra, that is gonna be fucking sweet.
Well, and the Integra is one of the only fucking new versions of these cars that I would actually buy, because the Integra's cool. It's a manual turbo.
Looks fucking sweet.
It kind of, yeah, it does. They're good looking cars. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not really in the market to buy an Acura, but if I was, it'd be the Integra Type R.
Yeah. Yep. Good luck to him. And lastly, one that you indicated you were going to have some rage for, which I can sympathize. I will also probably. I hope we're not raged out after that Silverado segment.
I'm not raged out.
Right to repair. I will admit, I cheated a little bit. I skimmed the article at work. I know what's going to piss me off.
That's a good thing, because I learned about this when it happened. So this happened about a week ago, if not a little over a week ago.
I'm going to bottom line it here. President finds the fight strange. Yeah, so his heart's not in it, and I don't think the government is going to actually come down on our side on this. In fact, I think
actually there are several pieces of legislation. He said he doesn't understand the fight. There are several pieces of legislation that are actually moving the needle our direction already.
But when it hits his desk, I think it's going to come down to whomever he's more friendly with. I don't know that his involvement is going to make this fight any better. Don't take this the wrong way, audience. But
I will say that I think he had the right reaction when they walked into his office, demanding that he restrict or help them make legislation to restrict owners' right to repair.
Fair enough. I retract my previous statements now that I have that context.
He effectively, when it happened, they walked in. It's Farley, which is Ford's CEO, and then the CEO of GM, which I don't know the name of, asking him to help them make legislation to stop people from repairing their own cars, because the cars nowadays are too fucking
we'll get into that.
To fix.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. So
Jim Farley, from one of the most punchable people in existence.
And Trump, according to every report I've heard, Trump effectively laughed them out of his office.
Hope that's true.
Which I hope it's true too. He basically said, "Fuck you. We're not taking away their right to repair."
Representatives including so Roger fucking Penske. How the mighty have fallen, Roger Penske, who built his company, built his entire fucking empire on supporting this kind of shit, and now is advocating against it. Hey, I hope you never win another race. I hope Team Penske never wins another fucking race. I'm just gonna go full balls to the wall on this, because fuck it. It made some comments about you knew about people in his youth who weren't too good at arithmetic but could fix an engine blindfolded. Okay, so it looks like he's got the right mentality on this. Let's hope they don't fucking sway him. Yeah, so here's something. Okay. Farley saying that he can fix a 1973 Ford Bronco, but if someone wants to fix a new Bronco at home, it would put people's lives at risk. Okay, if you're selling cars if your cars are built in such a way where trying to do maintenance on them, like in your driveway, would put people's lives at risk, those cars shouldn't be on the fucking road. If it's too dangerous to fix, it's too dangerous to drive. Go to hell, you doughy bastard. He doesn't want owners doing warranty work at home. So void the fucking warranty. Nobody is forcing you to provide warranty support if I screw something up. Fine, whatever. I don't care. I don't fucking care if you warranty my garbage work. Okay? If I fuck up the water pump gasket or screw up timing, both of which I've fucking done because I'm an amateur and I'm learning. Okay? If I fuck that shit up, I'm not gonna go to Subaru and say, warranty my garbage. I'm gonna tear that shit back down and fix it again. Like a man, which I am, and you aren't. Jesus fucking Christ. He looks like the estrogen in beer's getting to him.
Ford's stance on this is dumb anyway, because they fucking think of it as their responsibility that people that fucking do their own repairs and their own fucking like work to improve or like upgrade vehicles, Ford still apparently thinks it's their job to fucking, like, that's their problem anymore. Like, Ford is at risk of being in trouble if somebody who puts a supercharger on a truck, blows an engine, and ends up in a ditch has anything to do with them.
Yeah, you're not my fucking parents. You're not my fucking babysitter. Get the fuck out of my face.
And the other thing, when you, in the first article, or in the first part of the article where you said they met to discuss the right to repair laws in the Oval Office meeting, Trump literally walked him out of the office and he said, it's strange. It's like they don't want people to fix their car. So I do think there's a fucking silver lining to this and that Trump is not buying this shit.
Yeah.
But it's still ridiculous that we had two of the biggest companies in the United States try to fucking pull this on owners. And as if it wasn't going badly enough for John Deere trying to pull this shit. You can see it's not going well for a fucking tractor company that was trying to pull shit with their tractors, and you're gonna try to pull it with something that does 10 times the fucking business? Are you joking?
Fucking ridiculous. They're using warranty work as a fucking mott. It's the Mott and Bailey. The mott is, we don't want people doing warranty work at home because liability and bullshit like that. The Bailey is, okay, so you don't get to do any repairs. Which, I mean, the article points out, plane owners want to be able to repair and maintain their vehicles both in and outside of the warranty period. Yes, and also, again, this is what voiding your fucking warranty is for. If I go to my laptop, if I go to a laptop, there's a whole fucking tag that says if you open the back, in the little manual you get, if you open the back cover, you void the warranty. Fine, fair enough. If I crack the pan on that shit, it's not your responsibility to support it anymore. It's my dumbass. But that goes both ways. It's my dumbass. Let me do it.
Well, it's this dickhead was approached by somebody that runs one of the dealerships and goes, every year we've been losing service revenue.
Because you're ripping people off.
No, you fucking don't. Yeah, if you quit ripping people off by overcharging for fucking everything and the fixes, and maybe, one, if you didn't have such crazy overhead and refused to pay people correctly, you'd actually have people that were willing to work for you. But Ford fucking, the dealerships especially, lose so many goddamn technicians. I know multiple people that used to be Ford technicians. Guess what happened to them? They moved on because they didn't want anything to do with it anymore. It wasn't high enough pay and it was too much work.
Like, here's how this works, okay? You go to the customer and you charge them $150 an hour to work on this shit. And then you turn around to your technicians and you say, we're paying you $27 an hour to work on cars. And oh, by the way, this piece of work, it's 12 hours in the book, but because it's warranty, we're only going to pay you for 4 hours of work. And also, you have to buy your own fucking tools. It's not like they've got overhead in terms of, the shop supplies the tools, the materials. Technicians got to buy them themselves. Have to buy them themselves. They're getting paid a pittance, and in cost per hour, they're getting paid a pittance. And in total hours paid, they're getting paid a pittance. But oh, you get to charge the customer $150 an hour for this shit. And you're probably billing them the full book time, even as you're turning around and you're ripping off technicians. And then the technician goes,
the warranty work.
The technician goes, well, you know, fuck you, I'm not going to do a good job then. And then they end up fucking over the customer when they're trying to fuck over the shop. And then everyone wonders, why can't we find any skilled technicians? And why is work so expensive? And why are people trying to maintain their own fucking cars? Gee, I don't fucking know.
I wonder. Fucking just getting the part from you is like pulling teeth, and it's way more expensive. Legitimately, the warranty work is... some dealerships, that's like 60% of the fucking business.
Yeah.
So if 60% of your business, you're paying less than half of the actual hours of work on something to the fucking person that's actually doing the work, why would you expect they're gonna fucking stay? Like, really? And you and me are already mad about this because you just sent me the fucking thing about Australia going, people shouldn't even be changing their fucking brakes.
Let me pull that up for the viewing audience. Yeah, this shit, I actually had to go and look up if 6PR Perth was a satire site. Because I saw this, and I got riled up, and then I cooled off, and I was like, okay, let's make sure this isn't satire. Because this looks like rage bait. And it's not. They're sincere. The replies, too. I was reading the fucking replies, because I saw this shit on Facebook. And it's, Australians agree with this. You people are so fucking chained down, you agree with this. Oh, 1 in 10 Australians are changing their own brakes. This could be dangerous.
I never let anybody else change my brakes. I'm the only one that changes my brakes on my car. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, that's the dumbest fucking argument I've ever seen. And here's the thing about Australia. You have Perth on one side of the country, and you have fucking Sydney on the other side of the country. You know what every single person does between those two areas in the fucking outback? They all do their own car repairs. You know why? Because there are no fucking shops out there.
Well, and especially I do my own brakes when I get quoted, like, I think my local shop quoted me $600 per axle to do brakes on my car. And then the dealership quoted me $900 per axle to do brakes.
It cost me $200 to do them myself. 200 in 2 hours.
I go down to the fucking AutoZone. They throw in pads when I buy rotors. So I buy a set of rotors for like $200. They throw in pads with it, so their margins are fucking insane. And I go home, I jack it up, I take the wheel off, I undo 2 fucking bolts. I can borrow the compressor from my local shop, dielectric grease, they're practically handing that shit out. And you do it yourself in like 2 hours. Why are you billing me $600 to $900 an axle for brakes?
Well, dude, and if there's one country that does not need to be having this fucking argument at all about people fixing their own shit, it's the one where, like I said, everybody that lives between the 2 major cities has no access to people that will fix their shit for them.
Well,
it's all old cars that are barely maintained because the people that have them maintain them themselves.
In honor of the momentous occasion coming up in 2.5 weeks, the other country where this dumb shit shouldn't be happening is the country where the last people that suggested dumb shit, like restricting people's ability to the last time a country suggested that to us, we fucking shot at them, and they fucked off forever. Happy 250th, America. So yeah, Jim Farley, owner of the world's most punchable face, you doughy bastard, sit down, shut up. Your job is to sell us cars. Your job is not to give 2 goddamn shits what we do after that. Shut up. Oh. On that terrible disappointment, fuck the American auto industry, man. What the fuck? Used to be great.
Yeah, I know.
On that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Thank you all very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.